This week we're starting some ear training and I'm going to give you my top tips to working out any chord progression. Let's go. Firstly, start with a piece of music which is not too heavy on the instrument side. Keep things simple. A piece of music where you can clearly make out the guitar and the chords being played. Then you're going to want to have listened to that piece of music lots and be super familiar with it. Then with a digital file of that music, you want to put it into a piece of software that will allow you to loop sections, slow sections down, even isolate certain frequencies to allow you to more easily pick out that guitar part. There are lots on the market, you can Google search it. My software of choice is Transcribe, by 7th String. $39, you can grab yourself a license and you'll get so much use out of it. It's a steal. Then once we've got the music into the software, it is a case of trying to work out the speed of the music or the tempo. The tempo is very useful because it helps us to anticipate when the chord changes will come, because they often occur at the start of each measure or squarely in the middle of the measures. It's also going to help with actually writing down the progression, because if you know the speed of the beat, you know how many measures each chord is to be played. Simply put, to work out the tempo, just clap along to the music as if you were seeing it live at a gig. Just clapping along. That'll be the speed of the beat. And then metronomes these days on smartphones or actual metronomes themselves have a tap tempo feature. So you can do that clapping of the hand, but into a metronome, and that will give you a numerical figure of BPM, beats per minute. That's the speed of the beat. "72 BPM. Music will often be in 4/4. There are other possible time signatures. Goes out the scope of today's lesson, but let's assume it's going to be 4/4 because it mostly is. Well, not always, but you know. If you're using Transcribe, you can then mark out your measures, and then that gives you your framework, your measures that you can be looping. Okay, so working out your first chord, you're going to loop that first measure or the first chord if there's more than one in there, and you're going to try and sing the note. The strongest note in the chord is likely to be the root note, the lowest note being played, and that will inform you as to the chord's name. You want to be able to find that note on your guitar. Try on string 5 or string 6. Hopefully you'll be able to tell if it's not the correct note, and then you're going to move in either direction chromatically, so fret by fret, so as to make sure you don't skip over the correct note until you find that note. So once you've found the note, you need to be able to name it. My ebook Fretboard Mastery is available for free with the link in the description box or in the card. Then you have to ask yourself, what does the chord sound like? Does it sound bright and happy, or is it a bit more dark and brooding? If you're at all unsure, then play both chords along to the music on a loop. Is it E? Is it E major? Write it down, move on to measure 2. Then you're going to repeat the same process with the second chord. Again, it's trying to hum the bass note and finding that bass note on the strings. C major. Yeah. Progress. Then with 2 chords, that's going to start informing a possible key. Key of E minor. That'd be E minor, F sharp, diminished G, A minor, B minor, C, and D. And this comes on to the biggie with transcribing, is you want to know some music theory. So knowing the chords in a key is hugely advantageous when it comes to trying to work out chord progressions. And I have a 25% discount on my guitar theory course, Guitar Upbusters Essential Theory. Again, there's a link in the description box or in the card. 2 chords. Being careful to listen out for movements within the same measure. In this measure 3 of our example, we've got a change of chord on beat number 3. You're going to repeat the process. Try and listen for the bass notes, sing them, then establish which direction the bass is moving. Once you establish the bass note, then you can refer back to the key that you think it is and infer that if I hear an A in this particular example, then is it going to be an A minor chord? And then the process becomes a little easier because you hear the bass note, then you can see what type of chord, whether major or minor, it's going to be. A minor, G. So it went A minor, G. C. Okay. So that, in a nutshell, is how you can start transcribing chord progressions. There is a consideration, of course, of the rhythm being strummed, and you want to ideally be able to write down those strumming patterns on the page as you are working it out. When starting anything, it's always hard at first, but the key thing is to keep doing it again and again and again. And before you know it, this will become much, much easier. And then you're gonna have no more need of me or anything on Ultimate Guitar to learn how to play your favorite songs. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're new to the channel. My supporters on Patreon are being treated this week to a PDF summarizing everything I've gone through in the video. You too can help support the channel for as little as $3 per month, following the link in the description box. Leave any questions you have, of course, and suggestions for future videos in the comments below, and I'll see you again next week. Let's give that a go.